Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I don't have a bingo. I can play Ulye, which sorts the rack out. £18 points. Pretty good. Bingo-y tiles, but duplicates. So I may not have a bingo. I can't see a 7. Quite a few floaters to consider, but the vowels aren't particularly helpful. I've got the IER ending, but that isn't helping me. I can't see anything through the L or the Y, so I don't think I have a bingo as things stand, and I will struggle to score since I have only 1 point tiles. I certainly want to play off an I and an R, plus one more vowel. So play of IOR leaving EIRT would be the best rack leave. Can't see a way of playing off those 3 tiles immediately. Not particularly helpful, except I may be able to place my I next to the Q. So, do I have a play ending IER? Well, do I? Toia. That does the job. 23 points. 2 high-scoring tiles in the J and the X, and the rest of the rack pretty bingo-y. Jinx would play off both of the high-scoring tiles. And I can do that in row G, making Zoo. And also in column 13, parallel to Toia. Close to Janitrix with the right floater. Not close enough. I can't think of a play other than Jinx, which burns both high-scoring tiles. Jaxi is an alternative. Great, well, Jinx in column 13 remains available. Has my opponent provided anything with his play? I believe Zloty takes an S for future reference. So, Axine. 75 points, or over 60 points rather. Keeping the J. $65. Now Jinx up here. Well, I'm leaning towards Jinx. It's dropping 16 points, but it's keeping AER rather than JN. These moves may be close, or it could be that Axine is a lot better. I do actually have some doubt about Axine, so I think I will go with Jinx. Not good. I draw more bingo-y tiles, but it's not a balanced rack. I would have uneasier through an S. I can't see anything through the T or Y of Zloty. But a play of EAU or AUE would resolve the rack, and I can do that parallel to Zloty. X takes an O after it. I don't have one of those. J takes an A after it. Can't see a way of playing my U whilst taking advantage of that. I have a 50-point lead, but my opponent's on turn, so that could well vanish. Epinuria is good. Through a P and an I. $25 points for my opponent. He doesn't have the vowels. And he's provided a nice spot for AUE. $16 points. More duplicate tiles, but that's partly the risk one runs with keeping bingo-y tiles. There's a lot of duplicates in the bag, so it's not surprising that they frequently crop up on your rack. And the trouble I'm in with this sort of rack is the difficulty in scoring. So when you don't have a bingo, it's really helpful to have a high-scoring tile, and I don't have any. I do have an A for going next to the J. When you have no high-scoring tiles on the rack, your mind is drawn to the board to see what's on there. Certainly the J is available. ON takes an E after it that I have, so a play ending A something E would play. Can't see anything good. Now I can play, well, Ag doesn't take an I, but I have Rain on my rack. It's not a great play because, well, actually it is okay. It keeps IN. I thought it kept two vowels. AUE takes nothing in front. This board is quite tight, which is good since I'm behind. 32 points for my opponent, a good score for him. Now, Tip takes an I. JO takes an R. So do I have Airy? It's not great, it's keeping two N's, but let me see what the score is. 52 points, which is not bad for a bunch of 1-point tiles. Can I improve that? My N could go after the O, so I could have a play beginning AN or IN. And I could have a play beginning RI. Well, I can't see anything, and 52 points is good. I think I'll take my chances with this rack. Rack leave. Great, I didn't draw any more N's, and the rest of the rack is pretty good. Close to a bingo. I don't think I do have one. I don't think Unpained is good. Even if it were, I see nowhere for it. It's not a particularly bingo-friendly board. Column 13 is available for bingos, hooking, Ulyi, and R. Not much else available, which is fine by me since I'm ahead. With this rack, I'd like to play off the N and the U. The U because it's non-bingo-y, the N because it's a duplicate tile. I've got the P for score. Can't see anywhere to play at the moment. I'm not aware of any three-letter extensions to Airy. Now there's two-letter sets to consider for bingos, A, G and UR, both pretty useful. AGE words, there's quite a few of those. And URE words, but neither works with my current rack. UR takes a P in front, so I may be able to play something around here, but not much goes in front of ER, certainly nothing I've got. 16 points for my opponent, not a big score rather. My N can go in front of Arga, my P can go in front of our. But if I played in column 2, I'd be opening up triple word scores and not scoring very much. So I could play none across here. For 8 points, which is pretty dismal. 15 minutes on the clock. What can I do that's better than 8? Well, do I have anything which ends double N? Don't think so. Well, A double N. $15 points. I don't need to play around here because this isn't particularly dangerous. What about a play down from the R? Can't see anything there. Now my P can go in front of ER. Right, I'm really struggling with this rack. So, should I play none? Or pun? Well, pun takes an S in front, that's not great. What about a play across from the Y? I certainly want to play off an N. Or down from the L. What about Luna? Only 12 points, and I'm giving 2 useful floaters, so I don't like that. Ah, there is a Y play. There's Yuan. 14 points, not particularly dangerous, and it's taking out this column 13 bingo lane, and the rack leaves okay. Not good. More duplicates. I do have a scoring tile in the P. I've got an N for going in front of Arga. Now I have pendant. Is there anywhere for that? Not at the moment. It's just a P. Oh no, Tower is good, so pendant does play in column 2. Great. I overlooked that T hook, and it's still available. And my pendant's provided a new spot, which scores more, but is going to stop 1 square short of row O. Does pendant take an S? I think it does. Well, I don't like placing a vowel next to this H1 spot, so I'm going to play over here. I have a slight doubt about pendant, not enough to not play at 85 points. And I draw the blank. Let's see if this gets challenged. Well, not so far. Now CVM aren't a great triplicate to have. I can't see a bingo with this rack. Close to Medivac. Close to Vicomte. Now what are the floaters on this board? There's the A of hour and the T of pendant. Nothing is coming to mind with either. Great, my opponent challenges, it's good. I don't know if pendant takes an S. If my opponent plays it, I'll probably challenge. It's only 5 points. The real pain will come if I'm in a position to play it and it gets challenged off. Anyway, that's for the future. With this rack, I've got the T for going in front of our. I'd like to get rid of the C and the V, or the M and the V. Well, what I want to do is get rid of the V and carry forward only one high-scoring tile, hence playing CV or MV. And I don't have an I for Vim, which would have played nicely in column 15 around the P of pendant. My C can go in front of UR. I no longer have an N for going in front of Arga. So I've seen nowhere yet to play. Well, I could just keep the V and play Came. It's taking out a hotspot. The V can be useful and can be a bingo-y tile, and 42 points is a great score. Well, that looks pretty good. Is there a bingo here? Gosh, it looks like there is. Now, overcoat through the A of our. Yep, that works. I'm not sure if evocator is good. Overcoat certainly is. Do I have anything else? It would be pretty handy to get that down. This board is fairly blocked. In my mind, I'm going through the blank as a tile. I'm up to H, haven't seen anything. Ah, my spot has been taken. There is a new tile in the V to consider. Gosh, close to Dovecot. I've actually got Dovecot, haven't I? Down here. I think it can be played without a trailing E. And this helps reduce the pendant hook uncertainty, because I won't be tempted to bingo across there. So that's 88 points if it's good. The real question was whether I had a 9 timer through this V. And I don't think I did. Or do. Let's see if this stays on. If it does, this is pretty promising. I have residua on my rack, nowhere to play it. This is a tricky rack. I know in the past I played Eurydias with this and had it challenged off, but residua is the bingo. It hooks an L. I can't see anything with this rack through the V, but if my opponent plays down from L1 or above, my A may hook onto it in column 2. I have a good lead, 210 points. Now, for future reference, woke takes an N, so this is a useful 4-letter hotspot. And quite a few vowels go between F and T, but not my U. So I have nowhere for residua if my opponent provides nowhere. This is a tricky rack because it's very bingo-y, but if I play off only 1 or 2 tiles to retain its bingo-iness, if I then do have a bingo, I may not have anywhere to play it. Because this board has no bingo lanes at the moment apart from column 1. Unless there's multiple overlaps in row J. Not very likely. Ah, Revs R does not take an E. How annoying. Okay. What to do? I'm massively ahead, 180 points ahead, so I don't have to open the board up. In fact, it's better if I don't. I would like to play the U off. It seems sensible to take out this hotspot down here, even without the N hook. Only one E left. Wow, and only 13 tiles left. This game has zoomed by. So I could play EAU, and there's still a blank out there. I'm not too worried about a bingo in column 2 ending in E, because there's only one E and one blank left. If my opponent does bingo down there, he'll be opening up scoring opportunities in column 1, and I am a lot more than one bingo ahead. I don't think Woke takes a D or an S. This is 13 points. It's taking out a hotspot. There are 2 N's left. Only 5 vowels out of 20. And I'm burning 3. That's not particularly smart. However, I would like to burn the U. I must be able to do better than this. I have 9 minutes left. What would better than this look like? Well, a play of the U somewhere. So what about just playing U here for 7 points? This is an excellent 6-letter rack leave. I'm retaining the E for column 2. And I'm not sacrificing that much because EAU didn't score that much. Not particularly bingo-y, the remaining tiles. And this is bingo-y. I mentioned that in case I can place my U somewhere to open the board up, and I can't see a way of doing that. Now, row E is a decent bingo lane for bingos ending ON, in particular bingos ending ATION. And there's 2 T's to come and an O, so I need to, 2 T's to come, so if I drew one of those, I would have the Asian ending. Yeah, I think I'll play this. Pretty good. I have Sardine, column 2. Fantastic. Let's see if that stays available. And maybe my opponent will be drawn to this triple word square at the bottom right, leaving Sardine available. And if my opponent does play in column 2, he's likely to be creating additional bingo lanes. Now, Sardine has anagrams, Randies, and Sandia. Dovecot takes an E as well as an S. That's unlikely to be particularly useful. I have a 194-point lead, and I'm sitting on a bingo. Good place to be. Just looking in row J to see if I have a bingo running over the top of AUE. And I don't. Great. My opponent leaves Sardine alone. And there'll be 3 tiles in the bag after this play. Sardine, 64. I don't draw the blank, annoyingly. My opponent could have quite a decent rack, or he could have a bunch of eyes. There are 3 tiles in the bag. I've got a rubbish rack, annoyingly. But not too surprising that it's consonant heavy, given how consonant heavy the bag was. Very few vowels on the board to play through, however. So I may struggle to get to 500. I've got frog at H1 for 30. That would be pretty good. I'd like my opponent to leave a tile in the bag or 2 tiles in the bag. There's a good chance one or both would be an I. Now, my O doesn't go between F and T. That's annoying. This could be a tricky end to the game with this rack. It doesn't really matter because I have a massive lead. So the win is assured. I do now have a play across the bottom making pendants. I have DOST. 32 points, keeping the F and the G. But I have slight doubts about DOST and more than slight doubts about pendants. Although my doubts about pendants are diminishing, I think it does take an S. Great, frog remains available. And my opponent's emptied the bag. So can I go out in 2 from this position? Well, has my opponent got a bingo that I need to block? 7 minutes on my clock. He's got 3 eyes. He can't be happy to see that. There's the N floater and the T floater. It'll be annoying to gift him a bingo. Now what about initialed? That doesn't go. Well, I can't see a bingo for him. I'm mentally running through the blank, through the alphabet with the blank, and imagining an N as well. So he's got the in beginning. Gosh, he could well have a bingo here. Can't see it. So if I played frog, or frogs, 33 points, keeping B, D, T, I don't think I can find a way of going out in 2. Is there an alternative to frogs in this spot? 5 minutes on my clock. I am opening up a bingo lane in column 5. If he has a 7-letter bingo, could probably take an S on the end. I haven't seen one. I'm just wondering if there's a way of getting my F on this double letter square. Can't see a way. Can't see a way of playing in column 1. It's really hampering having only one vowel. I think I'll go with this. Or will I? Where are the floating vowels? Just this eye of sardine. And if my opponent provides a floating eye, I can't go out with this rack. Well, I think I'll go with this. Now see what bingo my opponent has spotted that I missed. I have a 270-point lead at the moment, so it's not going to catch me. If my opponent doesn't bingo, how can I maximize my score? Because surely my opponent will go out in 2 if he can't go out in 1. Well, I've got bid at J1 across. 6 points. Bon, 10, which is the same with countback. And And that's all I can say. My opponent's got 5 minutes left. He hasn't played a bingo so far, which is encouraging. I think once he sees a bingo, he's likely to play it rather than looking for a better one, given that it's not going to affect the result of the game. And my opponent plays a non-bingo, 16 points. He does provide a floating eye, which I'm unable to use to go out. He's got 2 eyes and a blank left. So he's got our iris in column 5. I just can't see any alternative to this. I am expecting my opponent to go out. If he doesn't, I can play my T in numerous places on the board. Yep, that's fine. Pass to end the game. And the final score, 247 to my opponent, 497 to me. A winning margin of 250 points. So, a massive, massive win. Let's see what I missed. Ooh, look at that. Airy is a phony. Is it? I thought it took DR and S. Okay. What am I confusing that with then? Yeah, it doesn't look right. Okay, I'm confusing it with some other spelling of airy which does take DRS. Anyway, me to go fast, I played Ulyi, that looks fine. My opponent's rack, awful. He plays Chi. I played Toia, that looks fine. My opponent's rack, not much better. He plays Zloty. And now, great, look at that. Axine, almost certainly not good, otherwise it would have featured, so I'm glad I wimped out of that. What was available, though, was Injera for 70. Yeah, that was a miss. I played Jinx for 49. For 20 fewer points and a better rack lead, but Injera, definitely the play. My opponent's rack, pretty grim. And I think... Well, no, this wasn't my airy rack, was it? What did I do here? AUE. Yeah, that looks fine. My opponent's rack, he plays Hoop. And this is where I phony with airy and got away with it, which is fortunate. Quite a few other plays up in this area. Even air for 36, pretty good, keeping 9. My opponent's rack, he plays our... And what did I do here? I played Yuan, which I spent a long time finding and didn't think was particularly great, just 14 points. Keeping penned. Pun for 19. Well, the problem with that is it's opening up column row O, so that's the problem with all these plays around our... So Yuan has merit. My opponent's rack, he plays Walk. And then I did have Pendant for 85, which was 14 points more than the column 2 position. My opponent's rack, he seems to have been struggling with pretty awful stuff. He plays Fab. Now I play Came for 42, and I played that pretty quickly. Maybe I should have held back the E for 5 fewer points. The E complements VT quite well. My opponent's rack, he plays Veil, blocking my overcoat. And Dovecot, the only bingo, so delighted to have spotted that. Now, this was my opponent's rack. He had a couple of bingos. He didn't see them. He played Revs. I have Residua, nowhere to play it. 012, Dicer. Okay, well that shows the Pendant does take an S, which I think I talked myself into by the end of the game. What did I do? I played you for 7, and the difference between 7 and 32 is a lot, but my rack lever raised is massive, especially with this bingo lane for bingos ending in E. So this is a genuine point sacrifice rather than a usual score and rack balance equation. Or rather, it's an extreme example of score and rack leave where I'm attributing a very high value to a good 6-letter rack leave. My opponent's rack, atrocious. He plays germ, leaving me free to play sardine, which was the only bingo. My opponent's rack, he is now suffering vowel shortage. He plays unth. So what was in the bag? 2 eyes. At least 2 eyes. Yeah, exactly 2 eyes and 1 other tile. So he played unth. And now I played frogs. It didn't feel great. Now look, if I'd played broads for 3 fewer points, then I would have had an out through an eye. I would have had gift. So possibly broads would have been better. Now, does my opponent have a bingo? Nope, he doesn't. He played idle. And now I'm reduced to poor plays. Bid is just as good as the 3 above it because of the extra count back with the 10-point plays. So bid was best. And finally, my opponent has a bunch of outs. So, pretty exciting game. Always good to get up close to the 500 mark and to win by such a wide spread. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.